Hello, everyone, and welcome to what is going to be the end of Death Stranding. It's my second playthrough, so I know that I can finish this up in this last recording. And since it is the end, I'm gonna treat myself to a beer. I mean, I'd have a beer at this time of the day anyway, but now it's especially fitting that I'll be beating Death Stranding on camera. Granted, yes, for the second time, but still, it it's one of my favorite games, and it's a very important thing to me now. So let's just okay. Now I have to do a recap for YouTube. I mean, okay, so like last time, like we fought a giant whale BT before reaching Capital Knot City, and then Sam went and confronted Amelie. Learned that Amelie is actually Bridget, but it's the part of her being that was born on the beach. And we learned about her backstory. How she didn't know she was an EE at first. She just knew that she had this weird division of body and soul, and she was having all these nightmares of past five extinctions, but also dreams of upcoming extinction that was worse than last. And so she started investigating bridge babies and creating a chiral network so that she could learn about the past to better inform the future, try to stop the next extinction if she could. And along the way, she obviously must have found out that she was an EE and that it would be up to her. And my reading of it is that she was terrified by this realization. And she knew that either A, she would have to be waiting years, no matter how long it took, for the final last stranding to occur, which would be brought on by her hand. But she had no idea how long it would take. If it took long enough, she would be seeing everyone she cared for dying, and she just was terrified of waiting for the inevitable. And so, decided to bring about the last stranding ahead of schedule, which is why the events of the game happen. Why she conscripted Higgs to be her homo demons to help accelerate the last stranding. And just sad. Like, I felt for her when I learned about that for the first time, but yeah, and now Sam's friends have gone and found him on his beach, and he's being brought back, and here we go. Final section of Death Stranding. Cheers.
For too long have we lived as strangers to one another, divided by walls built to keep us safe. But now, with the completion of the chiral network, we may at last move forward as a people united. Today, we come together to celebrate the birth of a new nation. A new nation for a new world. The United Cities of America. I once took an oath to support and defend the Constitution of the United States. And though that proud republic may be no more, we remain. And so, as your president, I hereby swear to support and defend you, the people. Let there be no more walls between us, nor masks to hide who we are. Let there be a new America. An America where we can face one another, where we can speak our minds and open our hearts. The old ways die hard, but I believe, my fellow Americans, that we have the strength and the courage to rise above our past and embrace our future.
I recognize almost all of those Bridges members.
An enduring shadow, a constant reminder of what could have been. That we stand here today is testament, not to the greatness of any one individual, but to our capacity to come together. To the bonds between us. To our collective greatness. All things must come to an end, ourselves included. But as long as we savor each moment, find joy in the promise of tomorrow, embrace hope, and reject despair, we will endure. President Bridget Strand and her daughter, Samantha America Strand, sacrificed everything in their pursuit of hope that we, the people, might be whole again. That they are not here today to see the fruits of their labor fills us all with a profound sadness. But we find comfort in the knowledge that their memories will live on in the chiral network and in our hearts. We will always remain connected. There is another hero in this story. One whose achievements seem destined to go unrecognized. America still needs that hero.
Yeah, Hartman.
That person without whom we would not be here. The name is unimportant, but you know who I mean. And for that unsung hero, I have a message. It was you who brought us together. You who made us whole again. And while you and I will eventually pass on...
Sam's got no time for that.
Going somewhere, Sam? Tired of being the unsung hero?
No, I'm done is all. She's gone.
Come on, wait. There's something I need to tell you. Huh. This doesn't bother you anymore? Well, that's great. Now, wouldn't you like to know how we brought you back from the beach?
Sure.
We were going to use the doll, but didn't have one handy, which is when I remembered something else.
Not what I think it is.
Yes. What could be more connected to Amelie's beach than President Strand's umbilical cord? Hartman thought that's why she left it with me in the first place. Unfortunately...
It didn't work.
Yeah, she'd already cut her beach loose. It was just gone. We didn't know if that meant she dragged you into the great beyond, or sent you to some other beach. We were really racking our brains. Hartman and Mama split up and started searching every beach you might feasibly have washed up on. We looked for a month with absolutely nothing to show for it.
A month.
A month on the outside. How long on the inside?
Trust me when I tell you, you don't want to know.
Yeah.
But don't worry. We found no signs of accelerated aging.
That's why the whole section when you're on Sam's beach just feels like a
This is what led us to
long slog. It gets,
just when we were about to give up.
you're supposed to
Die Hard
feel
reminded us
Sam's.
about the revolver. So we tried to follow it, and it led us to a far corner of your own beach. And bingo, there you were. Mama made visual contact first. She was able to see you from her vantage point on the other side. She informed Lochna via their connection, and Hartman confirmed your location during his subsequent NDE. The plan was for Fragile to, in essence, slingshot Lou and me to your position, so we could rescue you.
Teamwork.
But it's not so easy to send multiple individuals to another person's beach for an extended period of time. And that's where the umbilical cord came in. We wove these from President Strand's DNA. They serve as a single knot that binds us all. The President must have known all of this would happen. Ironic, isn't it? The gun that set this whole mess in motion ends up being the key to saving you.
Amelie. She said it had another purpose.
Not a weapon, but a lifeline. A stick that became a rope. I suppose that's one way of putting it.
Help them find him.
You have no idea how long I've been waiting to give you a hug.
Yeah, Dead Man
Got
seems like
something else
a
to tell
hugger.
you. Top secret. It's about Cliff. Bibi's mother's name was Lisa Bridges, Cliff's common-law wife.
Lisa Bridges.
Now, Cliff was killed by a
Sam
man
Porter
identified
Bridges.
in the records only as John. Former U.S. Special Forces. Quite good at it by all accounts. Later appointed as an aide to the president, who used him for most of her wet work. The records go on to
Familiar?
state that he vanished after Cliff's death. A warrant was put out, but he was later found dead. Turns out some people die harder than others, though.
Yep.
Dear John donned a mask and reappeared with a new identity. But you can't fool the chiral network. We restored the old records, and Mama hid them deep in the archives. You're the only one besides us with access privileges. Take a look if you're so inclined. But don't say I didn't warn you. The president's got some dirty, dirty laundry.
I will say that the mask actually does a
I don't
pretty good
trust him.
job of
But I'll
hiding
work with him if that's what it takes.
bone structure
We'll talk later.
and hides, like, you only see the eyes. It hides the eyebrows, it hides the bone structure. So, unless if you know the person's face, it could be
Sam.
a pretty good cover in the most basic form.
I don't expect you to forgive me. But would you hear me out? I killed Captain Clifford Unger. I would tell you I did it for America. For love of country. But I didn't.
By the way, this is a really good
I did it
performance.
for her.
Great
Because
motion,
I loved her with all my heart.
great motion capture.
She was everything to me. Everything. Now, I'm not trying to make excuses. I just want you to know that not a day's gone by when I haven't thought about it. Time didn't help. Or the mask. Please, let me finish.
Yeah, come on, let him get off his chest.
The captain, saved my life. You know why they call me Die Hardman. Because he wouldn't let me die. He brought my sorry ass back home every time. And I loved him as much as I loved her.
Really tough situation.
And when he stared me down, that ghost, I knew he was here to kill me, to make it right. And why shouldn't he? Why didn't he? He couldn't save his kid, his baby. And that's what brought him back. I guess when he saw I was trying to do my part for America, he remembered who he was. And he forgave me. God! but I don't deserve it, God damn it! There is no atoning for what I've done. God! John. But maybe this is the next best thing. Maybe he brought me back from the beach for a reason. One last time. He wanted me to do this. To keep on being Die Hardman.
No. He didn't. Nobody wants a president who acts like they're immortal. And if you're not scared of death, how can you value life? And life is pretty fucking fragile right now. And yeah, the old ways die hard. But that's what's gonna have to happen if we're gonna come together and build a better America. That gun won't help you here. That's her words, not mine.
You have to be your own man, John. Be John, don't be Die Hardman.
Thank you, Sam.
Tommy Earl Jenkins. He apparently did that in several takes, but
Hey, Sam.
did all that in
Been waiting for
one
you. Lou?
session. Just, jeez.
Dead?
Poor thing was never truly alive. Not in this world, at least. The decommissioning order finally came through. Can't risk necrosis. The body can't stay here. I thought you might want to take care of it.
Just one gut
You could try
punch
taking Lou
after
out of the
another.
pod just to see what happens. But that would be in direct contravention of an executive order. And there are laws about that kind of thing, now that we're a nation. I just couldn't bring myself to do it. But if the alternative is defying the president, I can't do that either.
At least you have
Not me.
your morals, dead man.
All right. I'll go to the incinerator.
See, and Dead Man starts off being like, oh, BBs are just equipment.
Before you leave, I'd like to check something quickly.
Oh, he's emotionally invested.
I just took your cufflinks offline. In that state, there'd be nothing to stop you from removing them. If you did, the UCA wouldn't know where you were or how to find you. You'd be invisible. When
Good
you
to know.
use the incinerator, you'll be reconnected to the network automatically. I trust you'll remember what I said.
Right. Absolutely. Thanks for everything.
So sweet. Okay, I'm getting affected even though I went through this already once before. Oh. Out of all the characters, Deadman's the one who has changed the most. Oh, Fragile, my girl.
How's the weather?
Don't think you'll be needing an umbrella.
She's accepted her past.
I
She's
decided
not
to
wearing
follow my father's
gloves
dream after all.
anymore.
Don't worry. I won't get mixed up with any terrorists this time. UCA's got my back. We're the first private delivery company to get the official approval.
Sounds like you're moving up in the world.
See, the logo.
Congratulations.
It's no longer
Thanks.
skeleton hands. Very symbolic.
Wait. There's something I have to tell you. I didn't shoot Higgs. Couldn't pull the trigger. So I let him choose. Death or eternal solitude on the beach.
Fair enough. You never did like breaking things.
That's right. I find and fix what's broken. And reconnect. I'm fragile.
But not
But
that
not that
fragile. So great.
Wanna come work for me? Could use a man like you.
Oh yeah, work for you.
The world's still broken. Same as before.
Come on, Sam.
What isn't? But we're still here. We're still chugging along.
Not everyone. Not me.
Sam.
Come on. You put America back together, didn't you?
Doesn't mean there's a place for me. I've got no ties to anyone or anything. I might as well be dead. I felt like that when we first met in the cave. I still do.
Don't act like you're the same person. You've learned how to touch, to feel. You've connected with people. With us.
Everything I touch, I lose.
Sam!
Come on, Lou. One last delivery.
Not even gonna say that out loud. And yeah, I played BB the rest. So, Fragile, my interpretation, especially playing this game 2 times, is that she has feelings for Sam. So when Sam's like, I have no ties to anyone, I may as well be dead. I lose everything I touch, like, damn. Check on Lou.
Lou. Lou? Hey, Lou.
I want to oh, and you see the lighting on my controller is red. Normally it's orange when BB is like in stress or something, but now it's red. Let's see if he'll let me. Let's do. I wanted to use this one. Oh, look. I know, and see, you can't change anything with BB. I'm going to make a horizontal photo. Sam. Sorry, it's really hard to... I guess I should have rotated, yeah, let me get it the way I want it, and then I'll... Okay. Now we'll rotate it. Yeah. Hey Neil, yeah, And I already felt tears come to my eyes when Sam went and hugged Dead Man, saying thanks for everything. I wasn't expecting that to get me again, you know what I mean? Yeah, I'm just doing a sweet little picture. All I can. Alright, let's do no filters. Let's see. I doubt there's any frames I want to use because I'm rotating the picture. But yeah, like I wasn't expecting to be affected by Alright. That'll be a picture I'll rotate in post.
Lou?
Yeah, let's go. Let's see if I get affected again. Let's see. God damn it. God damn it. And get all the likes in the world even though it's almost evil. Yeah. And as I was saying at the beginning of the recording, got my beer to celebrate finishing the game again. Let's hope no one cuts any onions. Really love this song though. Yeah, I grab a brew too. I was showing how my controller light is red because of blue. You have 0 legs. You're drinking a Modern Times IPA seasonal pint. Mine's Freya's Gold Hellas style lager from Odin Brewing Company. It's from Tequila, Washington. Can't stuck on rocks. Igor, my man. He deserves all the posthumous likes. His ladders are one of the few things still standing here. He's helped us out 3 times. First time was when he gave us BB. The second was having these ladders and climbing anchors set up for when we had to take Bridget's corpse to the incinerator. And now the 3rd time, those ladders and climbing anchors still being here as we go to the incinerator for the 2nd and last time. He's the MVP. Yeah, salute my friend and another impressive journey. Glad I was part of it. Yeah, for sure. And this means that next Saturday I can start to play another game on my Saturday noon stream, which will probably be The Last of Us. Probably won't do grounded mode. I may just do survivor. I just don't know if I'd be able to handle that intense increase in difficulty and restrictions, you know what I mean? It's the limited checkpoints that worry me more than anything. For grounded mode. But you know, how fitting is it? Well, you don't literally start the game, but one of the first things you do in the game is you go to the incinerator, bringing Bridget's body, who was Sam's adoptive mother. And then you learn more about Bridget by this point, that she is also Amelie. And now at the end, you're bringing Lou.
Hey, Lou. Lou? This is on me. I'm sorry, Lou. Lou.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Lou.
Are you okay? Me?
Lou? I'm sorry, Lou.
Sorry, no, I shouldn't. Gain a cinematic approach. Don't trip. Yeah, my heart.
Alright. I guess we're here. You still with me, Lou?
Poor thing was never truly alive. Not in this world, at least.
Not in this world, so you can still.
Thanks for everything.
Child special. One of a kind.
A BB candidate.
Either that or
A sacrifice.
a foundation. A bridge.
John and Bridget.
Brought you an astronaut. Mankind can go anywhere, even outer space.
We have it too.
You'll be out of there in no time. And the second all this is over, I'm gonna take you wherever you wanna go. Can I help you? Holy shit. John, is that you?
Captain, what are you doing here?
Yeah, and earlier, Neil, I
I'll check
was
that.
commenting
I
about
don't want to repeat of last
Tommy
year.
Earl Jenkins' performance during
Avoid
that
In
emotional
Manhattan?
scene when he spills his heart out to Sam. How he did it in one take.
I'm so sorry. I didn't know you were the husband.
This isn't what we agreed on. You said you'd do everything in your power to save BB.
We are. But we cannot release your son just yet. Believe me when I tell you it's for the best.
System woman in a mask who's done nothing but lie to me.
These are all flashbacks that we've seen
I have a
hits
duty to
of.
protect our country. Lies are an unfortunate necessity.
It's all put into context now. I like Bridget in the white dress. But also really like Amelie in the black dress at the end.
The president
Pretty
gave
cool.
me the highest level access privileges. I've used them to manipulate the security system. We have 5 minutes before it resets, sir. 5 minutes to talk. Off the record. Take BB and get out of this place. There's nothing I can do for your wife. I'm sorry.
Yep, she's brain dead. You can't really do much about that.
You were my commanding officer, but I swore an oath to the president to protect her and the country at all costs. Now, if she orders me to do something, I have to do it. I have to. But I served under you first. And your family doesn't deserve this. Any of this.
Why are you helping me? If they catch you.
Because you saved my life, sir. Again and again. When the brass sent us into the jaws of hell, it was you that brought us home.
John, why don't you just
Back
say
then, I
it?
thought I was
You're friends.
Invincible.
You're my friend.
I thought I was some kind of action hero. But I'm not the hero. You are, sir.
Oh, now's
You're
not
the
the
reason
time for
I'm still
serves.
alive.
Just
And it's past time I paid that debt. They're moving your son to a new facility tomorrow. You'll never see him again.
there.
He'll serve as the foundation of a new communications network. A sacrifice for a nation that no longer exists.
And there we're told that Cliff's child is
I wrote down everything you need to know.
boy.
It was the only way to keep it off the system.
Old school, pen and paper.
Burn it when you're done. The rest is up to you, sir. I believe this belongs to you, sir. Now, I can't terminate your wife's life support from inside her room. System won't allow it. So, this is the only other option. An alarm is set to go off if she flatlines. I've rigged the system to spoof her vitals. But you won't have long. 5 minutes, tops.
It does make sense.
Don't hesitate, sir. This is the only chance you'll get.
It makes sense why they decide to end her life, because she is brain dead. She could potentially be used to continue to make BBs. And that is not a fate that anyone should be left to. Like, if Cliff's gonna get out with his son, should make sure that his wife will not have to be used anymore. That's my reading of why this is done.
I'm sorry, Lisa. Don't worry. I'll take care of him. I promise you. Promise you. My animal, Lisa.
Her vitals are being spoofed. Go, go, go.
Bibi. Bibi. Bibi, can you hear me? Can you hear me? It's Daddy.
Right. Got the stick again.
Hello?
Oh, here we are again. Cremation, BB28. Here we go. Yeah, a small mercy and act of love preserve her dignity. One thing is certain though, Cliff made a difficult choice no one could ever take lightly. Yeah.
If you did, the UCA wouldn't know where you were or how to find you. You'd be invisible.
And it's just
When you use the incinerator, you'll be reconnected to the network automatically.
it's just obvious that
You
even
could
in
try
this
taking Lou
future,
out of the pod just to see what happens.
no one can reverse
That would be in
brain
direct
dead
contravention of
death.
executive order.
So It's not awesome. It's not. Don't call it awesome. Good man, Sam.
A purpose that cannot fulfill outside the pod. There is a 70% risk of catastrophic failure simply in removing it.
Alright, just got a message from a friend. Oh, that's heavy. Sorry, Lisa. Rest in peace. You'll never be used for your womb again. Hey, our man. Whoop. There we go. Go, go, go. Yeah, it's, locked. Crap. That coat, though. Cliff, aka Mads Mikkelsen, looks good in anything he wears. Act normal. Crap. Vital's no longer spoofed.
Freeze! Hey, put it down! Drop it! Put it down!
Back off. Back off!
Get up! Don't do it!
Piece of shit.
I'll handle this.
Trigger happy motherfuckers. John is in a really difficult position. Matt wants to help his friend, but he has to seem impartial. Or on the side of Bridges.
Oh, God.
Oh, Neil. I'd go gay for Matt. It's the same.
Don't! You got it! You two! Stay there! And hold your fire.
Smart. Hey, John's putting up a good show.
Thanks for trying, John.
Stop! Step aside, sir, or we'll be forced to open fire. It's a dead end. He's trapped. Security will take it from here.
Those Bridges guys. Jesus Christ. They are scary. Like SWAT. I will say the blood looks really good. How the blood that's soaked in this fabric actually has kind of that brown look to it. That's pretty realistic. Like I could just feel the stickiness on his clothes. Ugh.
I'm sorry, Lisa.
You backed yourself into a dead end.
I screwed it up. I've ruined everything.
This room is off limits. No one goes in. But he's in there, sir. I saw him. You saw him all. Now check the other way.
John still fighting the good fight.
Yes, sir.
No, open it up. He's inside.
Bridget.
BB. Don't worry. It's okay. I'll always be with you. See the sunset. The day is ending. Let that yawn out. There's no pretending. I will hold you and protect you. So let love warm you to love.
Sam.
When I found out I was gonna be a father, I was so scared. Scared of what it would mean. I had to be there for you and your mom. No matter what. I couldn't just go off and get myself killed anymore. Couldn't leave you all alone. I couldn't.
Get off of him! Now!
I had it all wrong. All wrong. Being a father didn't make me scared. It made me brave. I'm sorry. mistake. Be yourself. Be free.
Oh my God.
Uh-huh. Gotcha.
Captain, I need you to hand it over.
Shoot him, John.
Sam.
Let it go. Please.
Shoot him! I gave you an order. Shoot him!
You told me your name was Sam Porter. But you're Sam Bridges. My son. My bridge to the future.
Eddie Mats.
Without you, I was just like any other cliff. Dead end. No way forward. Nothing but an obstacle. Looking on at the world people like you were trying to build.
Pass the torch.
Dividing people was the only thing I was ever good at.
Love the look on Sam's face. I mean, Norman Reedus is doing very subtle acting. That's... but it says a lot.
You bring people together. You're their bridge to the future. And mine. Come on, Sam. Stand up.
Rubber bands.
Is this me?
Remember what Amelie said in the
God.
on the beach?
Not BB2.
I pulled the trigger twice that day.
No, 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 no!
You see that? See John? He was reaching out for Cliff. Two characters, John and Bridget, mourning for two separate people. It's pretty good. wants Sam's speech.
Sam.
Seen this scene before, but in a different context. The doll, the connection to Amelie's speech. Cliff. There he goes.
You want to go home? Let's go home.
Now, so you have Bridget, the body, who is pretty cold and ruthless in her dealings, as we've seen in these flashbacks. But then you have Amelie, her soul, who is the true, caring, motherly side of her. It's interesting. The two halves of her have almost two very different personalities, and it would make sense that the soul, the Ka or Ha, I forget, is the one who is the truly loving, caring part. Like, Bridget just wants Sam originally for the usefulness of being a BB, but then Amelie seems to be wanting him out of some other... I'm just rambling now. I'm sorry.
There you are. Welcome back.
You understand his days as a BB are over, now that his connection to the other side has been severed.
I love that look on her face.
It was me who cut the cord. So yes.
A deathless repatriate in the world of the living. Should we decommission him?
In a manner of speaking. Take him out of the pod. I'll raise him as my own.
I really like Lindsay Wagner's performance there. Just little changes in her facial expressions, and paired with the voice actress's delivery of the lines. It's just good.
Come on, Lou. Wake up. Come on, Lou, wake up. Come on, Lou. Come on, Lou. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up!
Norman Reedus did such a good job here. You just feel his desperation and heartache. He already lost one child. I don't know why I'm not smiling. I mean, I don't think they say Lou's alive. But I wouldn't say that they dragged that out too long. I would say that it was perfect to show that Sam was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's the magic 5 again. With their babies. Not timeful? And the rainbow has blue in it. Now I have to let the credits roll because not only is there great music during the end credits, but also the post-credit scene is just as important as the rest of the game. So, gonna let it play out and
Every time we touch it shows.
very unusually quiet during that whole scene. But yeah, like that final bit, Sam walks out with Lou into the rain, shows no signs of aging, and then there's a rainbow with blue in it. And we get an interview by Deadman that clearly states that the post-stranding rainbows do not have blue in it. So the suggestion is that the Death Stranding is everything's back to normal, but of course we all know that that is only a temporary reprieve because, as Amelie stated, the Death Stranding, the last stranding, is gonna happen no matter what, whether it's tomorrow or a million years from now. It's gonna happen. But now things are on pause. Amelie has halted the last stranding. Life can go on as normal and people don't have to worry about timefall and BTs, and hopefully we can get humanity back into space because the Cairo clouds make airplanes, spaceships, satellites, drones, everything impossible. And there are so many interviews and emails that keep mentioning space travel. Mama and Lakna, or Malingan and Lakna, their parents worked for NASA, and so they naturally were interested in space travel. Igor the guy the MVP who gives us Lou at the beginning of the game, he wanted to be an astronaut before the stranding happened. There's so many mentions of people wanting to know what's out and beyond the Chiral Cloud. So it's like, hey, this will be your chance while you have it. As someone who loves space stuff, I just love how many characters, both main and minor NPCs, are space enthusiasts. It's pretty great. And also Kojima Productions mascot Ludens. It looks like a spacesuit, and even Kojima Productions intro video at the beginning of the game, which is kind of like almost a movie company logo, starts off looking like, hey, you're underwater. But then it pans out and they're in space, and then there's a hologram whale. Like, underwater and space, they have way more in common. Like, we've explored more of our oceans than we have of just our solar system. Like, it's a pretty good analogy, and that's why I love the Kojima Productions little logo video. But I'm so glad that I decided to play this game again for streaming and recording purposes, because yeah, look, location shooting in Republic of Iceland. Next installment will bring into a cosmic EE. Oh god, that means, wait, wouldn't a cosmic EE just be the universe? People have two theories. Either A, the universe is continuously expanding, or B, it's everything's moving closer together. Like, if everything's moving closer together, then in the world of, oh gosh, this song. By Churches. I'd never heard this band before, and then I listened to the rest of a bunch of their other stuff, and I'm like in love with it. Now, when I first played the game, I cried my eyes out when I had to take Lou to the incinerator. Like, I had to pause the game, go into the bathroom, wash my face, calm down, and then I finally got over it, and I cried again at this song because I realized the song is such a good representation of the spirit of this game. I know, I was silly. I'm just mouthing it. Just for once, so now that it's all said and done, it really matters what will become of us now. At the end of the scene, you can take my heart, hold it together as we fall apart. can make a mark in the stars we open up to the sky, asking for closure. At least we can say that we tried. It's never really over. What will become of us all at the end of the line? Will we live? Will we die? Yes, I'm looking at lyrics. You can take my heart and hold it together as we fall apart. Maybe together we can make a mark in the stars we embark. Us together as the last goodbye. Sorry, it's just such a good song. And I rarely ever sing to anything. Or at least, I'm always wanting to sing to stuff, but I'm always so self-conscious about my voice. Yeah, I already own the Timefall album, which is all the inspired by songs and includes this song. And I also have the actual soundtrack that's done by Ludwig Forsell, I think that's his name. But you keep reminding me that I also need to buy the Low Roar album, which has every Low Roar song that's in this game. While I was looking away, I must have missed the screen that showed all the people I connected with.
Louise.
Louise. Lou is a girl. Yep, Louise. And I am really happy with the fact that Sam's BB is indeed just BB-28. She is her own. It's not like, oh, it's Sam, you know, like, no. And so these stats are potatoes compared to the stats of my my first playthrough where I platinumed the game. Like, see, I've only fabricated 24 out of 72 items. That's pathetic. It's pathetic. And I've only done 8 Legend or Legend of Legends orders, so... Yeah, BB is a girl. I love it. It makes me love Lou even more. She has sass. Like when she flips off Deadman. It's great. So this playthrough, with not getting everything to max and just going along with the story and whatever, I only have a porter grade of 224, skilled courier. And now I can listen to all these songs in my private room, but you know, I just need to buy. Ooh, we should read these. We should read these before I officially end it. So don't worry, we're still gonna go for a little while longer. Because I should read those interviews while we're here. Loading. Episode 15, tomorrow is in your hands. 2 weeks earlier. I love that. 2 weeks earlier. Wakey, eggs and bakey.
Good morning, Sam. Blood collection complete. Thank you for your generosity.
Well, look who's awake. Morning, Sam. You'll be happy to hear your vitals have stabilized, and that you're well on your way to recovery. Ah, not that it's your fault, but what I wouldn't give to trade places. We're all stuck in the president's office, working like dogs to get everything ready in time for the inauguration. But at least one of us is still free as a bird. You should head out. Make the most of it. Could even do some orders if you wanted. Might do you good to get back in the game.
Back in the game, literally.
It was raining buckets back when you left for Amelie's Beach. We took a real beating at the time, but we've done our best to service the structures and vehicles in the area. So you know, any cargo that was stored in your private locker at a damaged facility should have been transferred to your private locker here at this distro center. Anyway, busy or not, we'll still be on the end of the line if you need us. And if you want some alone time, we should be able to manage for now. Just make sure you're back in time for the big day, all right? See you then. Hey, Sam, you sure you don't have any unfinished business?
Doesn't look like I get to trigger the scene. There are times when if you zoom in on his feet, a bunch of BTs will spawn, and look at that. I love it. But anyway, we were going to read some stuff before we officially end this live stream. So, actually I'm going to save Victor's email for last. So here is from the Cairo artist. The wedding is back on. I hope you're doing alright. So, my mother told us what happened 5 years ago. It's weird how we don't have any memory of it, though I'm glad for that. Some things are better forgotten, I think. His gang killed my parents. There's no denying that. There's also no denying that he saved me. He took me by the hand and led me to safety. I wish I could remember that much at least, even if it meant having to remember some of the rest. He was there for me 5 years ago, and ever since my mother's been there for me, too. Oh, I read that sentence weird. It's because of them and their love that I survived, that I became who I am today. I owe them everything. Well, maybe not everything. I shouldn't forget how you've helped me, Sam. I couldn't thank you enough. Anyway, I'm going back to our own shelter now. No more running away from me. I've got a wedding to plan after all. Good for you. Cairo artist's mother. My daughter and her husband's tragic past. Okay, here we go. Maybe you already heard, but my daughter turned up here the other day, saying she was moving back home. Not long after that, her man came around looking for her. So I decided it was time to come clean and tell them the whole truth about what happened 5 years ago. Truth about how they first met. My daughter's real parents were killed by a gang of junk dealers, a gang to which her own husband used to belong. He was just a boy at the time, though, and in fact, he was the one who saved her life. Somehow, he convinced the others to leave her be. I still remember the way he was holding her hand when I found them, how scared she was, hood pulled over her face, unable to find the words. Tell you the boy chose to strike out his own after that and set himself up as a prepper, but no. I won't deny it. I didn't want to take care of both of them, so I sent him on his way. It was pure chance that they met again and fell in love. Fate, maybe, though I cursed it that day, let me tell you. They didn't remember each other, you see. Trauma, I suppose, so it was my burden alone to bear. Even if I wanted to keep them apart, I wouldn't dare remind them of all that. But after everything that happened, I realized it had to be done. They both needed to remember the whole of it. That he'd saved her life, sure, but that it would have meant that I would have needed saving if it wasn't for his gang. Knowing the truth, could you see their way to a reconciliation? Well, after some talking and thinking, they told me that if you love someone, nothing else matters. Can you believe that? So I told them to give it another go. It won't be easy, and frankly, it shouldn't be, but I sincerely believe they have what it takes. If they want to get married, I'll support their decision. Good for them. Now, Victor Frank. Bona fide hero shit. Well, you actually pulled it off. Made it all the way out west and came back to tell the tale. Gotta admit, I was worried you wouldn't see it through. Seemed like a tall order for anyone, after all. It hasn't been easy for the people you left behind, but I told myself I'd try not to blame you. That wouldn't be fair. I'm sorry I ever doubted you. You're a real hero, Sam, and there's plenty of us out here who'll never forget that. Thanks. Thank you. And you know what? If it wasn't for your brother Igor, probably wouldn't even be here. Because Igor gave Sam Blue. And that little BB has been so helpful and is apparently a Dooms compatible unit. I mean, what are the chances? Owe your family a debt, that's for sure. Now we got interviews. Some important... Oh, here we go. So, let's read these before we call it a night. About Sam's return. From Hartman, 1 week after Sam's return. Sam has returned, safe and sound. It had been about a month since he departed for Amelie's beach. 30 days of relentless searching for us, though for him it must have felt like an eternity. I cannot imagine the isolation and despair he must have been forced to endure, a suffering known only by Amelie and Bridget. Sam has told us about the extinction entity and how it granted humanity a reprieve. Beyond that, he is reluctant to speak. Well, we shall not put any pressure on him. Frankly, I expect we would struggle to comprehend anything else he tells us. Suffice it to say that the last stranding has been avoided, even if its precursor has forever reshaped our world. Thousands and thousands of years from now, should intelligent life walk the earth and find our fossils, it will likely conclude that Homo sapiens died in the 6th extinction. Perhaps, if we are lucky, they may even find records we leave behind. Still, we cannot hope to guess how much they will understand about who we were. After all, their intelligence will not be like ours. Theirs will be a different understanding of the world, of the universe. Different forms of existence, different conceptions of what is to be alive. These invariably lead to different conceptions of what it is to die. But it matters not if they never understand who we were. All that matters, in my opinion at least, is that they know that we were here. And there were a few more that we got. Probably gonna be in a separate section. Oh! Higgs. We got number 24, 25, and 26 of Higgs' journal. Which means that probably the memory chip I picked up in his shelter are at least a big chunk of the previous ones. So, journal number 24. My first memory is of looking up at the ceiling of our shelter as a baby bawling my eyes out. All of a sudden, the hand of God comes into view, blotting out the steel sky. Daddy lifts me up, not gentle, but not hard. Shouts some stuff, but it's all gibberish I can't make heads or tails of. He ain't my real daddy, though. That one died before I was born, and Mama soon after. Of disease or something. I don't know. Her brother took me in, whisked me away from that shelter reeking of piss and death, and brought me here. Daddy number 2. He never really took to it. He was an ugly, violent man, full of anger with nowhere to go. He tried to love me in his own way, but I don't know if he ever had it in him. Daddy told me our shelter was our world, and I believed him. I grew up thinking no one but us two existed. Then, when I got a little older, I started asking questions. Simple questions about where the food came from, that kind of thing. Got smacked upside the head for my troubles, but try as he might, couldn't beat the curiosity out of me. One day I peeked at this monitor. It was the first glimpse I'd ever caught of the outside world. I pestered Daddy about it. You bet I caught holy hell for it. But I wore him down, and eventually he came clean and admitted that there was a whole world out there, soaked to the bone by timefall and overrun by demons that eat me up. It occurred to me later that his fear-mongering probably got my mama killed. Filled her head with his hysterics about the dead walking the earth, the only safe haven being 6 feet under. Journal number 25. My mama entrusted me to her brother, so he had no choice but to raise me best he could. Say what you will about the man, but he had himself a sense of obligation. He might even have harbored a measure of affection for me, but whatever was in his heart he expressed with his hands, his fists. Any hopes and dreams he might have had for me, for us, fell by the wayside pretty quick. He slipped into a daily routine of warnings to stay the fuck inside, bookended by beatings to drive the point home. I think sometimes he sincerely believed that was the only way to protect me, but I wasn't about to go on living like that. Can't cage a young boy's spirit. If I'd stayed, I'd died, body and soul. I had to get out, started hoarding supplies in secret, but he caught on. That was the beginning of the worst beating yet. He was grabbing anything and everything within reach that could be used as a weapon, tearing our shelter apart, smashing furniture, all the while wailing like a wounded animal, tears streaming down his face. Pinned me down, tears and spit flying in my face as he blubbered on about me not understanding his pain. His fucking pain. His hands around my neck, darkness creeping in from the corners. His fucking pain. His fucking pain. The kitchen knife in my hands, in his neck. His hands, his fucking hands. They grow weak, and he just deflates like a balloon all over me. I roll him off, and I look into his glassy eyes filled with his fucking pain in our steel sky. You can't help but like get into the emotion the way it's written. Journal 26. I didn't know how to feel after. I spent the night next to him, my mind a blank canvas. In the back of it, a nagging voice saying I had to dispose of it. Daddy hadn't told me much, but he had told me about how bodies go necro, pop PTs and all that. Made me a good bedtime story, so I knew what would happen if I let him lie. Death come in our home and turn it into a crater. But the stink was starting to fill up the room. Had to deal with him, had to get him out. Get him as far away as possible. So I got my arms under his and dragged him out into the new world with a new sky. Bigger, emptier, bare rock dotted with bushes all around. Mountains. Fucking mountains off in the distance. Chiral clouds hugging their peaks. My knees started getting wobbly and the world began to spin and I knew the clock was ticking. Eyes down. Gotta deal with Daddy. Been moving at a steady clip when I saw it. Carelium coming off Daddy. Little motes of shimmering light. I was out of time. I laid him down to dirt before I let go. I had a vision. My hand, still resting on his body, disappeared, vaporized into a fine mist. Poof. Then I felt another presence. BT coming slow but sure. It had been walking since the beginning of time. Daddy's keeper. That was the first one I sensed, but it wasn't the last. A long while after, I remained awakened to their presence. Sixth sense. Daddy's parting gift to me. Over time, it faded, but I knew how I got it, and I knew how to get it up, get it back. All I needed was another body. I got real good at making them. Death for life. Theirs for mine. Fair exchange. These Hicks. Damn, you think Hicks was mad? I mean, if he was, I don't blame him. He had a psycho uncle looking after him. And when you're brought up to, I mean, the whole nature versus nurture thing, I think Higgs was kind of a a byproduct of the lack of nurture, the anti-nurture. But when you read all his other journals, and granted I only have 1 through 9 and then the last 3, like he like once he's able to be out there in the world, live his own life, he does seem to care, to give a shit about, you know, doing a good job. He had some porter friends and all that, but the power got to his head. So those seem to be the only interviews and emails I currently have at this time. I do have memory chips, but I would have to go and unlock them. I mean, I could just go up, I could go up top and do it. Sorry, I'm just marking all these unread tips as read because they're gonna drive me crazy. I know I'm procrastinating on everything, but I'm gonna get those memory chips taken care of. Because one of them was from Higgs's shelter, so...
Beginning scan. Scanning bridges ID. Verifying ID.
Yeah, okay, so let's go. Make delivery, share memory chip.
You picked this up for me? You shouldn't have. Really.
I am a dog. You have my heartfelt gratitude.
Yeah, when you first said was part of God, powers in your head at that point. Yeah, look, we have An Unknown Man's Journal Part 3. See? 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 9 other interviews also added.
Thank you for your contribution.
So, shall we go and have some, a trip down, Higgs Lane? But we do have memory chips, so... Here we have Profondo Rosso, original motion picture soundtrack. Soundtrack to the genius Dario Argento's Deep Red, which spawned the genre that came to be known as giallo in his home country of Italy upon its release in 1975. Though billed as a suspense movie, it's a masterpiece more terrifying than many horror movies of the era. Music provided by progressive rock group Goblin, who also soundtracked 1977's Suspiria. Suspiria was actually released before Deep Red in Japan, a huge hit, leading to the latter being released there as Suspiria 2, despite the two movies bearing no relation to one another. Interesting. Yeah, let's do it. Valhalla Rising, original soundtrack by Peter, and Peter Kied. Wow, could you imagine Peter? Or is it Peter? Original music for the movie Valhalla Rising, starring Mads Mikkelsen and directed by Nicholas Winding Refn. Wow. Kojima. Stop it. The film tells the tale of One Eye, a legendary warrior of the Viking Age, played by Mikkelsen. Having lost his voice and one of his eyes, he radiates the almost superhuman magic of a hero straight out of the sagas of ancient Scandinavia. The movie is more than worth a watch. The soundtrack is worth a listen to, having been composed by longtime Winding Refn collaborators Peter and Peter Kied. I'm just gonna say it's Peter. Sounds interesting. I'm all for like Nordic, Scandinavian, Viking type of stuff. I've never heard of that movie before, so I don't know. I'll look into it. And yeah, access to interviews. So let's do this. Let's finish off Higgs' story. Like, you start learning about all this stuff, like, after you already beat the game. Oh yeah, and it makes sense why they would give you this after you've finished the Higgs episode because look at the information it gives. Samantha America Strand. Amelie. The moment I met her, I knew she was destined to make us whole again. She told me we'd do it together and even gave me a gift. A bridge baby. It's a BT sensor of sorts, although it looks like a newborn. But it's not. Amelie says it was born on the beach, that it serves as a link between our world and the other side. Between me and her, too, if I keep it with me at all times. Called it New Child for a New Era. I'm not just a delivery guy anymore. I'm a herald for her and her new world. It's given me everything I ever wanted, ever needed, and now I'm free to cut fragile loose. BB reminds me of a baby doll, but it's no toy, that's for sure. Neither dead nor alive. Human, half something else. An inhabitant of the in-between, like a mummy. A lump of flesh wrapped around a shriveled yet still beating heart. So many symbols to choose from, all signifying that he's reached the end of the road. Stranding was big number 6. I see that now, and so much more. Void outs, the bodies birthing BTs, all aspects of a single phenomenon that exists solely to wipe us off the face of the earth. Can't stop what's coming. It's inevitable. Putting Humpty Dumpty back together won't change a goddamn thing. Risking life and limb to try is a fool's errand. Sacrifice what little you've got in the here and now for a future that'll never come. It's wasteful, meaningless. Amelie'd agree, I'm sure. I met Amelie on the beach again and pressed her for more answers about the stranding, but she wouldn't give me anything. Maybe she's got nothing left to give. Maybe she's waiting till the time's right. I don't know. I don't care. We all know there's no escaping extinction. I'm struggling to see her angle. Why even pretend to rebuild? Why rail against the inevitable? If there's another layer to this, I can't work it out. I'm getting sick and tired of trying. If she's not going to let me in on her plans, I'm going to have to assume the worst and take matters into my own hands. Give humanity the coup de grace myself. Just need the power to do it. Dear Diary, today I nuked Middle Knot City. Wiped it clean off the map. Didn't carry the bomb myself, of course. Fragile did the honors. Delivered my mercy to the people like a good little porter. I'm sure she's surprised. She shouldn't be. Death and destruction are part and parcel of the human condition. Bringing people together only exacerbates that. Be careful what you wish for, eh? It's like when our ancestors came from the old world to the new and brought their old world diseases with them. Natives had no immunity, and over half died in the blink of an eye. Bam. We've only come up with better, more effective ways of killing ever since. The network's just another means of hastening the end. This was always the logical conclusion of our efforts, mine and Fragile's. Maybe that's why I partnered up with her. Heart of hearts, I knew it was building to this. Sam Porter. Where to begin? Dooms. Patriot. Lone Wolf. Amelie's adopted brother. Motherfucker. Impression I guess that he's a loner who found meaning in being a good Samaritan. Yeah, I tried that mask on for size once upon a time. Sweet little Amelie, though, she buys it to his act. Thinks he's got what it takes to help her make America whole again. I tell you what, the more I look into it, the more it seems like he might actually be a true believer. In hell. Anyway, he's a dead man walking, even with Amelie's help. He'll be in Central before long, and the second he knows I'm bringing a shit ton of BTs down on his head and turning that place into a crater. Then it's bye-bye Sammy Porter, bye-bye Bridges HQ, bye-bye Expedition Team. Whenever they say just Central, I immediately think of Full Metal Alchemist. Central. That's the name of the capital. Sam's still alive. Not even a void out's enough to keep a repatriate down. Sticks in my craw. Second expedition got wiped out, obviously. Sam seems happy to lead west all by himself. Stupid fuck's crazier than me. Or maybe just desperate. Still can figure why rebuilding the nation is so important to him. Well, whatever. He wants to keep at it, he can be my guest. Even if he still had the others backing him up, it wouldn't make a difference. Ending's already been written. Worked it out. Worked out exactly how it's gonna go down. But dooms alone isn't enough. I need a greater power to finish the job, to rain down fire and brimstone on these modern-day Sodoms and Gomorrahs. Discover the truth about the Death Stranding. Amelie's powers have nothing to do with dooms. He's destruction incarnate, angel of the Death Stranding, extinction entity. I understand now what my true role is. Bridge that will deliver her judgment to this world. Executor of the end. No one knows, not even Sam, but they will. Sam's arrived in Port Knot City with Fragile to boot. Think I'll meet them there. Bring a BT or two along for the ride. It's past time I showed Bridges how powerful I've become. Come one, come all. We have ourselves an annihilation party, and when it's over, there'll be no one left to come between me and Amelie and the end of the world. Goddamn, is Sammy boy stubborn. Just ain't the quitting type. Seems it's rubbing off on Amelie too. Girl's trying to fight her true nature, flip the script, for all the good it'll do her. Difference doesn't make if it ends tomorrow or a million years from now. This planet's 4.6 billion years old. Universe? God only knows. Humanity's entire history's a blip on that time scale. What's the fucking point of fighting for a fraction longer? Anyway, Sam and Fragile made it to Lake Knot City, which is just as well. I reckon my old partner's due for a stroll down memory lane. A saunter through the crater she carved out with that nuke of mine. Come to think of it, maybe Sam ought to walk it with her. Yeah, I think I'll have him make a special delivery for me. Well, shit. Sam and Fragile managed to dispose of my nuke before it went off. They weren't smart enough to see through my disguise, but something must have tipped them off. Probably would have ruined the tag. I know I should have resisted the temptation, but come on. Who the hell reads that shit these days? Now he's halfway to the coast. He's in my neck of the woods now, and my boys ain't about to let up. We're gonna make him regret ever fucking with me and mine. The fuck was that storm that sucked up Sam? A supercell or whatever? I hooked up my BB just before I arrived and it started shaking and blinking and... Ugh, it's all gone sideways. There's something else up there. Something all kinds of fucked up. Don't need BB to tell me that. Got Amelie. Fucking finally. She's trapped in Edge Knot City. A horde of BTs all around. She's not going anywhere now. No, I'm gonna go take good care of my sweet little angel of death. Extinction entity. We got plans, me and her. As for you, Sammy boy, you're gonna learn what it means to really suffer. Come to the edge, Sam. You're a real asshole, I've got to admit. You've got grit. You remind me of me in that regard. Because we share a connection to Amelie. She gave you your dream catcher. Me, my Kipu. But you've never seen her face, have you? You've never looked her in the eye and seen her for what she truly is. Wake up and smell the ashes, Sammy boy. Time for me to tell you. Tell everyone the truth that hides at the heart of the stranding. You're gonna love it. I'd go grab some shut-eye at a distro center or wherever if I were you. Got a showdown coming. You're gonna want to be fighting fit. Just don't keep me waiting too long, here? All alone now. You've lost everything. Mask, her Kipu, BB doll, gone. You thought you had the power, that you were the one fated to lead them unto extinction. Here you are, alone. You thought you were in control. This was your role, your dream, the verge of victory, of oblivion for one and all. Herald, executor, pawn. God particle? A stupid name for a stupid god. Well, this was your life, Higgs. Your tale, told by an idiot, full of sound and righteous fury, signifying nothing. So, this last journal that we unlocked. This basically tells us his fate. Because Fragile told us at the end of the game, told Sam at the end of the game that she gave Higgs two options. Death or isolation on the beach. I'm paraphrasing that. And this journal seems to suggest that he chose to be stranded on the beach because it says you're all alone now. That he lost the BB doll. And when Fragile was telling Sam about that revelation, she had Higgs' BB doll. So, didn't choose death. Fragile must have shot off the gun in the background to mislead us. So, that's what he chose. And now he has a long time to think things over. But yeah, so that is the tale of Higgs. That's a lot of reading. But, you know, it's fun. It's fun. So, I guess that means that, we are officially done with Death Stranding, at least for the sake of streaming and recording. And if I want to do more in this game, I'll do that on my own time. I've already platinumed the game though, so anything I do would just be, you know, for the sake of playing the game. But I was so happy to be able to share this game with everyone, to share my love for this game, to relive all the great experiences and the cast of characters and music and story. Yeah, he's still a doo-doo head though. He chose his fate. Yeah, I just want to say thank you to everyone who has gotten this far, who has sat through all these cutscenes, all the slow, methodical deliveries and treks through the wilderness, and all the reading we've done. You know, we just spent this like whole last like chunk of time just reading the emails and interviews that we just unlocked. Like, could have just ended the game after the credits rolled, but no. I wanted to at least finish reading stuff. And yeah, so at this point, I'm going to say that next Saturday, the 25th of April, I will start a new stream. It'll still be a Let's Replay, so it will be me playing a game I've already beat before. But this time I'll be replaying Last of Us. And I'm probably going to play it on Survivor difficulty, not Grounded, because it's the the lack of checkpoints that worries me more than anything else. So, yeah, this was a great playthrough, and I'll take a rest in your private room and keep on keeping on. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, big thanks to you, Neil, and I'm glad that I was able to get you back into the game and that you finished it on your own time because of streams. So, yeah, that makes me feel good, you know? I mean, that's the whole point that I was streaming this in the first place, because it's a divisive game, and I've seen my fair share of playthroughs where the player did not like the game. And it showed. It was painful. They didn't know how to do anything right, and they let their frustration and their lack of understanding to just drive them into a ditch. Like, literally, like packages flying everywhere, and just like, it's good to have playthroughs of this game that are played by people who actually care. I went into this game blind. I originally had no interest in it. I was like, oh, it looks whatever, it's Kojima. Okay. But then a week out before the game officially was released, I was like, actually give this game a shot. Why not? I want to try something different. And I fell in love immediately, and it is one of my favorite games of all time, and it's the first time I ever like literally cried. Like, as I said, when you are tasked with taking Lou to the incinerator and you think Lou is dead, I cried so bad. And but that's good. That means that the emotional payoff, especially also with Sam and Cliff, like, so well done. There are a million ways that all this with the Sam and Cliff, Sam and Lou, and the Amelie and Bridget stuff could have been done terribly. but I ended this game having great empathy for every character, including Amelie. And yeah, it's great. So yeah, that's gonna be it for tonight, and that's it for Death Stranding. I think it's actually a great game to play at this point in history because as I'm rereading a lot of these emails and interviews, I'm damn, that actually is a lot of the what's the word I'm looking for? A lot of the sentiments about connection and being in a tough spot, like it feels so relevant to this COVID-19 situation we're going through. It's so relevant. Like, if anything, now is the perfect time to play this game if you haven't. And I plead to everyone that if you're on the fence about this game, don't listen to the critics. Just pick it up, borrow it from a friend, I don't know, and just try it. Play it yourself. Get the controller in your hands. And if you play it and it's not for you, that's great. I didn't think the game was going to be for me, and yet I fell in love with it. So just give it a chance. If anything about this piques your interest. And, you know, in the meantime, stay home, stay safe, stay healthy. Keep on keeping on, everyone. Have a great day, night, weekend, work from home, get your unemployment benefits, get your government stimulus check. Just do what you can and keep keep the message and the heart of Death Stranding close to you to get through, and we'll all get through this. You know, tomorrow is in your hands. We can get through this. So